The arrival of gunpowder in Europe stands as a truly pivotal moment in the annals of world history. This seemingly simple substance, once introduced, unleashed a cascade of transformations that reverberated across continents and centuries. Its impact was immediate and profound, dramatically reshaping the very nature of warfare. The age-old strategies and instruments of conflict were rendered obsolete, paving the way for new military doctrines. Beyond the battlefield, gunpowder fundamentally reshaped societal structures. It altered the balance of power, influenced economic systems, and spurred technological innovation in countless fields. Ultimately, the advent of gunpowder played a critical role in shaping the course of European expansion. It provided the means for unprecedented conquest and the establishment of vast empires across the globe. The precise date and method of gunpowder's introduction to Europe remain subjects of scholarly debate. Historical records offer tantalizing clues, but no single definitive account exists. However, a broad consensus points to the late 13th and early 14th centuries as the period when this revolutionary technology firmly took root on the European continent. Its arrival was not a singular event, but likely a gradual process. It is widely believed that gunpowder was introduced through multiple, interconnected channels. This complex diffusion highlights the vibrant exchange networks that characterized the medieval world. The Mongol Empire is frequently cited as a key conduit for this transfer of knowledge. Their vast conquests created an unparalleled bridge between East and West. The Mongols had conquered numerous regions where gunpowder technology was already well developed and actively employed. Their military campaigns exposed them to its destructive potential. European merchants, ever keen to explore new trade routes and commodities, may have encountered gunpowder during their extensive travels. They were often the first to bring exotic goods and ideas back to their homelands. Similarly, European travelers, including diplomats and missionaries, ventured deep into Asian territories. They too may have witnessed or acquired knowledge of the substance and its applications. Even European crusaders, engaged in prolonged conflicts in the Middle East, could have encountered early forms of gunpowder. They may have observed its use or learned of its properties from their adversaries. These diverse interactions collectively contributed to the gradual dissemination of gunpowder knowledge across the Eurasian landmass. The stage was set for its eventual adoption in Europe. Upon its initial arrival, early gunpowder technology in Europe was undeniably rudimentary. The precise chemical composition and manufacturing processes were still being refined. Initially, its primary use was often for pyrotechnic displays, serving as a source of wonder and entertainment. Fireworks were a novelty, captivating audiences with their flashes and bangs. It was also employed for signaling purposes, providing a loud and distinct means of communication over distances. Its explosive nature made it ideal for attracting attention. However, the military applications of gunpowder slowly but inexorably began to emerge. Innovators recognized its potential to revolutionize siege warfare and open new tactical possibilities. The first documented use of gunpowder in European warfare is often attributed to the Battle of Crécy in 1346. This pivotal engagement marked a turning point in military history. The English, under King Edward III, are widely believed to have employed primitive cannons at Crécy. These early firearms were crude but effective in their psychological impact. Despite their presence, the effectiveness of these early weapons was quite limited. They were more of a novelty than a decisive factor in the battle's outcome. These early weapons were cumbersome, requiring significant effort to transport and set up. Their sheer weight and bulk made them impractical for rapid deployment. They were also notoriously inaccurate, making precise targeting nearly impossible. Their primary utility lay in their ability to create noise and shock. Furthermore, these primitive firearms were prone to malfunction, often exploding or misfiring. Their unreliability posed a significant risk to their operators. Despite these initial limitations, the long-term impact of gunpowder on warfare proved to be profound and irreversible. It initiated a fundamental shift in military strategy and equipment. Gunpowder weapons began to erode the centuries-old dominance of the heavily armored knight. The formidable figure of the mounted warrior faced an existential threat. The ability to pierce armor with high-velocity projectiles rendered traditional military tactics less effective. The knight's protective shell was no longer impenetrable. This dramatic shift spurred innovation in armor design, leading to the development of thicker, more resilient plates. Armorers sought to counter the new threat with improved protection. However, the increasing cost and weight of such advanced armor eventually became unsustainable against the evolving power of gunpowder weapons. A point of diminishing returns was reached. The very nature of fortifications also changed. Medieval castles, once impregnable, became vulnerable to cannon fire. New defensive architectures emerged, designed to withstand bombardment. Siege warfare was transformed, becoming more destructive and decisive. Fortified positions could now be breached with unprecedented speed and force. A rise of gunpowder also necessitated larger, more organized armies. The individual prowess of a knight was superseded by the collective power of disciplined infantry armed with firearms. This led to the professionalization of armies and the decline of feudal levies. Warfare became a more centralized and state-controlled enterprise. The development of smaller, handheld firearms such as the arquebus and later the musket further democratized warfare. Common soldiers could now wield significant destructive power. This shift in military technology had far-reaching consequences for the balance of power between nations. Those who mastered gunpowder technology gained a decisive advantage. The introduction of gunpowder had significant social and political consequences that extended far beyond the battlefield. It reshaped the very fabric of European society. Perhaps most importantly, control of gunpowder technology became an immense source of power. States and monarchs who could produce and deploy these weapons gained unprecedented authority. This led to the centralization of power, as only wealthy states could afford the immense costs associated with gunpowder production, armaments, and professional armies. Feudal lords, lacking such resources, saw their influence wane. The need for raw materials, skilled artisans, and organized logistics to support gunpowder production spurred economic development. New industries emerged, creating jobs and wealth. The development of more effective firearms also contributed to the decline of the feudal system. The traditional military role of the nobility diminished as infantry and artillery became paramount. Gunpowder weapons were instrumental in the consolidation of national states. Monarchs used their newfound military might to suppress internal rebellions and expand their territories. The ability to project power over greater distances facilitated European exploration and colonization. Gunpowder provided a decisive advantage against indigenous populations. It also led to a new arms race among European powers, constantly pushing the boundaries of military innovation. This competition fueled technological advancement for centuries. The social hierarchy began to shift, with engineers, artillerymen, and professional soldiers gaining new prominence. Their skills were vital to national security and expansion. In essence, gunpowder was not merely a weapon, it was a catalyst for profound societal restructuring. It ushered in an era of state building, global expansion, and continuous military evolution. Its arrival marked the end of one historical epoch and the beginning of another, fundamentally altering the trajectory of European and, by extension, world history. The echoes of its first explosions still resonate today,